We all want to see what it's like to be in the Loud House on Christmas Day. The Christmas episode gives us a pretty good idea of how crazy it is, but the episode also reveals plenty of things we bet you didn't even notice. Wait until you hear which country totally banned it. Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's check out 10 secret facts in the Loud House Christmas episode you didn't know about. Winter scenery. We all know the Loud House's theme song, right? It's one of our favorite theme songs ever. But have you noticed what's different about it? It all starts the same. Lincoln is crashing through the crowded halls, dodging girls like ping pong balls just to reach the bathroom on time. Guy's gotta do what he can to survive, right? Okay, enough of the lyrics. But have you noticed this difference in the Christmas episode? The intro usually ends with Lily waddling by everyone sitting on the living room sofa and making her adorable noises. But this time, the scenery suddenly changed into a winter theme in the middle of Lily's waddle. But that's not all. Although it's not explained why, the colors are usually red, yellow, and blue, but for this Christmas episode, the creators actually decided to change the colors to Christmas colors. Seems fitting, doesn't it? You'll also notice that the theme song changes to a Christmas orchestra version during the episode announcement. You can also hear the Christmas version of the family's original song during the end, just as Luann announces her 12th Christmas pun. We'll talk more about that later. Do you prefer the Christmas version of the theme song or the original? Let us know in the comments. 12 puns of Christmas. If you've watched this episode, you probably know that Luann wanted to make her 12 puns before Christmas, and of course, she succeeded. Her puns might be cringy, but let's be honest, we all get entertained by them, especially when she laughs the most out of everyone in the family. 12 Puns of Christmas is, of course, a pun itself, as it's a play on 12 Days of Christmas. But have you managed to catch every single pun Luann made? Here they are. In her first, she says the lyrics make no frankincense. Frankincense is one of the gifts brought by Magi on Christmas Day. In her second pun, she says she only has to come up with 11 myrrh. Not her best joke, but myrrh was also one of the gifts. She also said she can holly bear her mom, which is also a pretty bad pun. She also accuses Lily of stalking her and says that her dad is getting figgy with it. Then she says her dad will have to ask someone else, but instead of saying you will, she says you'll. Her number 9 pun involves saying there's no time like the present, and for number 10, she says to just ribbon you. The 11th, she mentions the Christmas spirit, and in the very last scene, she wraps it all up. Oh, Luann, never change. Mr. Grouse's secrets. If you have a large family, you can bet that there's a grumpy old neighbor somewhere in your neighborhood who's really not happy about the chaos. In the Loud House, this role definitely belongs to Mr. Grouse. Have you ever noticed that his name wasn't officially revealed until the 23rd episode of Season 1? And in Season 2, we finally get to know Mr. Grouse a little bit closer. But not only does it turn out that he has a huge family, he also calls Lincoln by his name for the first time ever. Mr. Grouse reminds us of Old Man Marley from the very first Home Alone movie, who has a similar story and connection. He's equally as grumpy, and at the end, he also slowly warms up to the boy that seems to cause so much trouble. In Mr. Grouse's case, he goes right back to being angry at Lincoln after his sledge breaks the window of his house. That is, of course, totally understandable, but we still love the fact he finally called Lincoln by his actual name. We're telling you, this episode is full of small, iconic moments you probably missed. You have to stay tuned to find some more facts, including which country decided to totally skip this episode. Everyone is singing. We have seen the Loud kids sing individually, some definitely more than others. We're looking at you, Luna. We're totally in love with Luna's rockin' style, but we've always wanted to see the entire Loud family sing. In the Christmas special, it finally happened. The Loud family, along with several friends, decide to bring some holiday cheer to Mr. Grouse's Christmas by singing Christmas carols. Of course, those are done with Luna as the lead, because who else would be able to do such an amazing job? Great job, Luna. Speaking of, did you notice that the Loud parents hide their faces behind the presents for the entire song? Mr. Grouse was surprised by the carols, but we were definitely surprised by our next fact. So make sure you stay tuned to find out what it is. Did you like their Christmas song? They really did make this the best Christmas ever. Who are you? Cartoons always seem to avoid showing the faces of kids' parents. From Cow and Chicken to Tom and Jerry, the creators always wanted to add the kid magic to cartoon shows. Well, the Loud House was exactly the same. We're not sure why the official reveal actually happened in the first place. Nevertheless, Lynn Sr. and Rita Loud reveal their faces for the very first time in this episode. If you started watching the Loud House from Season 2, this was probably never seen as a big deal. But we can imagine some of you were shocked when you saw the two standing there with the rest of the family, ready to celebrate Christmas with their neighbors. And if you never even noticed, we're here to tell you that it's true. Their faces were first revealed in this exact episode. It's like a holiday miracle, and we're quite happy that their faces remain unrevealed throughout the second season, as they both have their moments that are definitely some of our favorites. Lisa's emotions. Although most kids get excited for Christmas, it's an emotional time for many. We always hear about tons of heartbreaking stories from those who are less fortunate. In the Loud House Christmas special, Mr. Grouse was one of those people. Unlike the Loud family, which is huge and they always have someone around, Mr. Grouse was all alone as his family was far away. And not a lot of people want to be alone for Christmas. Out of all Loud children, Lisa is quite the mystery. We're often left completely perplexed as to why she needs certain things for her experiments, and sometimes she lets us in on her personality. We've previously heard that Lisa's impervious to human emotions, and she really doesn't seem to do much of crying and laughing. Can you believe it that she cried like a baby after Lincoln finished his story about Mr. Grouse? To be fair, we cried too. His story was totally moving. Although seeing Lisa actually tear up made us cry even harder. Poor Lisa, it really is okay to cry and let out your emotions, especially when you hear a sad story like Mr. Grouse's. Lola's personality. The 6-year-old Lola is often seen as a bratty pageant girl who always has to get what she wants, otherwise she always throws a fit. Out of all characters, Lola is the one that actually does act her age because this behavior is pretty typical for 6-year-olds. But what's not typical is the reveal of her personality. Lola actually thinks that she's the sweetest girl around. Let's be honest, she can have her moments, although for the majority of the time we all know this isn't true. So in this episode, Lola revealed that she actually thinks she's super sweet. We're not exactly surprised, but did you know that this kind of self-delusion and hypocrisy has been compared to a Polish play called The Morality of Mrs. Dolska, where the main adult character often shows the same symptoms? Of course, they're much more extreme than Lola's pretense to be kind to make it on St. Nick's list. Well, let's hope that Lola's attitude is, in fact, just a phase that she will grow to be kind without having an agenda attached to her behavior. Do you think she'll actually grow up to be a complete diva? Presents! Have you ever wondered what you'd give the Loud kids for Christmas? This episode finally reveals what each of the Loud kids got. People like Lori absolutely couldn't hold the excitement of opening her present. And we can imagine that's how most kids feel like on Christmas Eve. But the wait is finally over now, Lori, and the rest of you can finally find out what the Loud kids got for Christmas. Lincoln, of course, got a game system and a replacement sled because he broke the other one when he accidentally drove it into Mr. Grouse's window. Lori got Bobby, and there's no surprise there. Fashionista Lenny got new shoes, and Luna got an awesome banjo. Lynn got sports shoes so she can become the best at soccer. Lucy got a bust of Edwin because, well, she's Lucy. Lana got a dungeon playset, and Lola got a castle playset. Lisa got a meteorite, a book, and a photo of Santa to prove he exists. And Lily got a teddy bear to play with and cuddle at night. Seems like those presents match their personalities pretty well, right? It's not the only Christmas thing that's matching. Wait until you hear the biggest Christmas secret you'd never guess. Banned in one country. Did you know that one country decided to not air the Loud House Christmas special? If you watch the other videos on the Loud House, you probably know that there are a couple of inappropriate scenes on the show that had to be censored in countries like UK, but there are very rare episodes that never actually got aired. We couldn't find any real reason why this happened, but it could be that it's because Christmas isn't celebrated until January in Russia. While it's definitely strange why the Nickelodeon Russia wouldn't show this specific episode even though it barely contains any innuendos, the answer might just be pretty simple. Russia celebrates Christmas on January 7th, as the church still uses the old Julian calendar for any religious celebration days. Since the Loud House Christmas special aired in mid-December for most countries, it could just be that they had to decide to not air the episode to stick to Russian customs. Speaking of Russia, there are 9 Loud House episodes that never made it on air, and they include some of our favorites, like L is for Love. So if you managed to see every single episode, you should count yourself lucky. And that's it for our video. For more videos like this one, check out 5 TV shows that copied the Loud House. See you next time!